Plaintiff Sori Malkin says after the defendant answered her online ad looking for a roommate, Sori discovered that the defendant had been on the TV show The Bachelor. Sori says after the defendant moved in, she basically ignored Sori, and it became very tense. And Suri's suing her for a security deposit, bills, and property. Defendant Suzanne Freeman admits that she stayed in her bedroom a lot, but says that's because Suri never gave her any personal space and would stand in her doorway for hours wanting to talk. Suzanne denies owing Suri for anything.
Start with you.
Well, I lived in the apartment for a year, and my former roommate had to move out, so I had to get a new roommate. And I put an ad on Craigslist, and the defendant came and interviewed for the apartment. And that day, my former roommate happened to be at the apartment, and so we all met. And, we were chit-chatting, getting to know each other, and, defendant said that she had been on the reality TV show The Bachelor, and that she was an actress. And my former roommate thought that was the coolest thing, because we had seen The Bachelor. She said, oh my gosh, you have to have her as a roommate. And in actuality, it should have been a warning sign to me. She's an actress. She can manipulate people. And when she moved in, she was a different person.
They're not acting on The Bachelor, are they?
I don't know what they're doing.
Acting on that show? That's not real?
Actually, no. The producers are very skilled in manipulating situations, but there is no acting.
Go ahead.
So after she moved in, she just wasn't the same person that she portrayed herself to be. She just wasn't very friendly. We were living in a small 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, and it'd be the situation where I'd be in the living room and she'd walk through the front door and not acknowledge me, not say hi, and we don't have to be best friends, but it was a little bit tense. Other times I just thought, she's trying to be an actress, she worked out a lot, she didn't eat that much, and actually I think that she was always moody and irritable, and she took it out on me. So, there was a computer and a desk in the living room. And, one day I was on the computer and the TV
By the way, my computer and desk that she never contributed anything financially to. I paid for the printer, I paid for the ink, I paid for everything, and she used it free of charge. But please go on.
And the reason that she was always in the living room is because she had no friends and she couldn't. The reason that she was always in the living room, I'm Holly Anderson. What I observed, the reason she was always in the living room because she couldn't get in her bedroom, and the reason that she was always there was because she had no friends, and she was obsessed with Suzanne, and she was like eating her feelings. So compared to her, of course Suzanne didn't eat anything because she would have ate a cardboard box.
And I'm so fat, Your Honor. Okay, so anyway, so I would be in the living room and I told the defendant, feel free, I'm just, the TV's on just for background, I'm on the computer, you can watch whatever you want. And she told me that she didn't like to be in the living room when I was in the living room. And also sometimes she would travel for business, and she left dirty dishes with food on it when she traveled out of the country for like a week. So it wasn't a good living environment.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Oh God, I can't wait. Okay. The reason...
This is real reality here. Our producers don't manipulate anything. Go ahead, though.
The reason that I didn't spend a lot of time in the living room in the common area was despite the fact that financially I did need to be in a roommate situation, I really do like my privacy and my private space. And I was perfectly willing to spend time with her. But from the very beginning of the time that I moved in there, she gave me no space. I was completely choked off. And every time I was in the common area with her, which she always did have to be in, and there is an element to this.
Either. You wouldn't give her any space either, Dora? Better be glad Dora wasn't your roommate.
Which is exactly my point of how obsessed she was.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
single
ask.
white female.
It was not quite to that point, but it really was where she would stand in my doorway for hours and just talk. And I was trying to watch a television show. I do travel a lot. And
talk about what?
Well, mostly how to work out and how to eat and how to diet and how to
be
lose
like
5
you.
pounds. Well, yeah, exactly. And you know, why do I wear a size extra small and she doesn't? And I couldn't care less about her size, just FYI. That to me isn't remotely relevant to any of this. But since she brought it up, it really was a situation where I could not breathe in that apartment. So yes, I didn't want to be in the common area with her, but it was because of direct actions she took. The dirty dishes, by the way, she is right. I did do that, but I actually did explain this to her. After a certain point,
do dishes. You explain
no.
that?
Listen, it's not my favorite task on the face of the earth, but I did do dishes occasionally.
Okay.
But after a while, because we did live together for quite a while, it became kind of a retaliation. I'm not saying it was mature, but it did become kind of a retaliation because I couldn't get any breathing room, and I didn't want to even go out into the living room.
Defendant Suzanne Freeman is being sued by her former roommate, who claims Suzanne ignored her in their apartment.
Were you sweating her that much?
No, actually, during the last 6 months that I lived in the apartment, I actually never spent one night at home because I was over at my fiance's house.
All right, before that though?
No, I mean, we would just chit chat sometimes, and I mean, we would, talk.
Did you ever get the impression she was trying to move on?
No, I mean, she did spend a lot of time in her bedroom with the door closed and watching her TV shows.
She gave you that impression.
Right,
she was trying to give you that impression.
Well, no, I mean, that was fine, and I didn't bother her that much. I wasn't stalking her.
All right, let's move on. The security deposit and the bills you're suing her for and property.
Mm-hmm.
How does she owe you for that? What happened?
Well, I gave my 30-day notice, and so she told me that she was going to stay in the apartment and she was going to find a new roommate. When she moved in, she gave her security deposit to my former roommate who was moving out.
Tell me what happened with you.
I moved out and she never gave me my security deposit.
How much was your share?
$1,050.
And hers was $1,050 as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Did the landlord return the security deposit?
I wrote a letter that I sent to the property management company saying that she had cut off all contact with me. I couldn't get a hold of her for the security deposit or the bills that she owed me for. And they in turn wrote her a letter, and they wrote the security deposit check out to both of our names.
Okay.
And they explained to her in writing that she would need both of our signatures to cash the check. And she did not do that, and she fraudulently cashed the check into her own account.
How much was that check for?
She cashed a check for $914.40.
Okay, so that was all the security deposit remaining? That was the balance?
Yes, because she didn't pay rent after I moved out.
And so they subtracted the rent from the $2,100?
Yes.
How much was the rent?
$1,495.
So that's the amount he would have taken for that month she failed to pay, $1,495?
I don't know. She has unpaid rent. It says $1,000.
You don't know? You said the reason you got $914 out of the $2,100 because the landlord subtracted rent. I need to know how much he subtracted.
$1,090 plus $95 of cleaning.
And you should have been entitled to $1,050, right? Because it was $2,100. And you received nothing?
Correct.
All right. Ma'am, what do you want to tell me about her not receiving her share of the security deposit?
When she gave me her 30-day notice, when someone moves out of a place and you're trying to rent it...
Did you agree to stay and pay the next month? Let's just go there.
We paid...
Don't tell me the law. I know the law pretty well.
Regardless of law, I don't know the specific law about that.
Okay, well, you're quoting the law when you say, when a person does ABC, the result is ABC. That's quoting the law. So, you tell me what happened. She says the agreement was, she gave you a 30-day notice, you agreed that you would stay there and that you would pay.
No, sir.
What was the agreement?
The agreement was that she would move out in 30 days. Within that time, I needed to find a roommate to take care of the extra rent. But what I was saying, which had nothing to do with the law, and I'm sorry I set it up like that.
What was the agreement?
No, sir, I'm sorry.
That's what I need to know.
It was no written agreement.
They do act on that show because you don't do all that on there. Go ahead. You got to be very clear and concise when you taking the proposals or whatever they do on that show.
Defendant Suzanne Freeman is being sued by her former roommate, who claims Suzanne ignored her in their apartment.
What was the agreement when she gave you 30-day notice? You all agreed to do something with regard to that next month. What was that agreement?
No, sir, we did not have any agreement.
Okay. Did you grant her permission to move?
Yes, she gave 30-day notice. I was going to find
her permission.
a roommate.
All right, so if you granted her permission, then she was entitled to her security deposit back.
No, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
No, sir.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Unpaid bills, how much does she owe you for?
Sir, can I just...
No, you can't.
Okay.
You think we've already have a disagreement, and I'm right.
I'm sure.
I'm right. I'm right. Go ahead. Unpaid bills.
For the cable and electric, it's $74.52 plus $74.60 plus $61.58. Your Honor, I'm sorry, I can't find a page.
Okay. Give me the bills that you do have evidence of.
Yes, here's the bills.
And this is the total amount before you divide it in two?
No, the highlighted is already divided. That's her share.
Okay. All right, ma'am, what do you say to the unpaid bills?
That I paid them and that we had no written agreement as to when or how, and she would stock them up.
You have your receipts?
No, sir. This happened over 2 years ago.
She does. What property are you suing her for?
I'm suing her for my car key, Your Honor. We had tandem parking, and she had my car key on her keychain.
What's the value of the key?
This one? She never gave me a forwarding address, sir.
Is that the key, or have you gotten a replacement key?
Yeah, it's $42.
$42, let me have that. Why didn't you return the key?
I never got a forwarding address from her, and the first time I've heard from her is 2 years later when she sued me for this.
Your Honor, that's not true. I have emails.
Let's see it.
Where I asked her.
Sir, I haven't received any emails.
I have over 10 emails asking for her share of the January and February bills, as well as my car key.
And you responded, ma'am.
I did?
You're a liar.
I'm not lying, I just don't remember.
Go back and act. All right, have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. You can't act in here. This is real. Have a good day.
I'm just glad this is all over. I was not obsessed with her. I just wanted the money that she owed me, which was a lot of money, and I honestly wish we'd never lived together.
Well, I completely agree on the not living together part, and considering it happened 2 years ago, I just think it's hysterical that she's now coming after me for money that I actually don't owe.